be Hakuho trolling us a bit with this hover. Sion will come out. So Sion is kind of just, I mean, you have a decent early laning phase. You're not expecting to dominate the GP though, and Ssumday is such a strong player that he should be able to have a relatively free lane. I do think that their composition here is very low on damage. You do have heavy amounts of CC, and there are squishy members. So if you can get to those squishy members, you have the ability to lock them down and burst them out, you know, with some of the damage here. You know, Allorim, we have seen Sions in the past even go things like Titanic Hydra, or sometimes even Sterix, get a little bit more damage in there. So there is some options as far as that goes. But I feel like when you play these types of comps, if you do not absolutely nail your engage, you are going to get kited out. You are going to get slammed because your backline will not be able to keep up with their backline, and your tanks are going to be kind of caught in this middle zone where it's like a phase rush Syndra, a phase rush Graves, GP is hitting barrel chains on your tanks, and your front line is just getting slammed. So it's all on the engage in that case. They have to have the perfect Sion ult, the great Nautilus ult coming across, locking down those members, and then if you can lock down that Graves, lock down that Syndra, you could burst them out and try to win that fight.
Alrighty, well, we are onto the Rift. We'll see if it can happen. The tank line is a bit small for 100 Thieves. They got a Gangplank up at the top lane for Ssumday, and Immortals get the first Jhin of the LCS split. It means Mark C gets a line bingo because Zoe got picked today. So congratulations, Mark. You got another winning point here as we've got some CC in the bottom lane. Poome is just going to recall anyway. Like, you're padding the stats and nothing is really getting gained here. It's not like you're getting Spell Thieves on or anything, but hey, you know what? Well, you take the poke when you can get it.
And I actually disagree with you a little bit. What they do get is they push him back, and then they can walk in safely for vision, right? If Tahm Kench is high on health, then I do think that there's a little bit more risk to actually walking in on this invade. Tahm Kench does have a pretty strong level 1, so I think there's a little bit there, but I agree overall it's not going to amount to much, and they didn't end up, you know, even dropping any wards. They just kind of threatened it, so yeah, overall, doesn't matter.
Yeah, end of the day, though, you don't know because that got removed 4 years ago. The, like, little vision that happens when you drop a ward. It used to have an animation. You could tell when someone warded a brush. That's gone. So Apollo could have pretended to ward. Xmithie is going to go ahead and knock this thing down. Gives the last hit to Insanity. They're going to share XP. Allorim, I believe, out of range of that one. But on the Sion, statistically, very, very good matchup into Gangplank. Has a really high win rate in that matchup overall. Not saying it's a lane counter, but the game tends to work out well for you. So we'll see if that comes through at some point. But it's statistically supported.
You actually do have pretty good time in the early phase. You have the ability to actually, you know, push the GP. You have to be really careful about the passive. GP has such a strong level 1. It was actually the W start from Allorim, which I'm not sure if that is normal, to be honest with you. I don't really play a lot of Sion myself, but going W, he doesn't really have any ability to fight back, and he's actually just getting queued on cooldown. Plus the Trial by Fire is very dangerous. Level 2 Smite fight here potentially. Immortals is roaming up, but so is the 100 Thieves bottom lane, and Insanity's coming down too.
It's enough to keep him safe, so very interesting jungle pathing. Contractz going red to enemy blue, and Xmithie doing red to his own blue is there in time to defend it. That's, I mean, very interesting that it happened this way. End of the day, Contractz goes for the risk, and it's not rewarded, and this is actually so much damage. Allorim is about to die, has to flash, and Ssumday will break his shield, and he's got to be careful. That second barrel nearly hits him. Allorim's at 200 health already. Flashless as Ssumday is relentless in that lane.
Allorim only has 2 CS, and we'd have to get another look at that wave, but the wave didn't look like it was very good for him either. And you can't really base on too far. If you do, you don't even have you have nothing to buy. Yeah, the wave is screwed.
Miserable.
The wave is absolutely screwed. It's pushing away from him. He has gotten a fair bit of health back, but I mean, if you're Ssumday, you just hold this wave, let it come to you. You don't need to do anything aggressive. He has Trial by Fire passive because he just hit the barrel, so now you have to base on 3 CS, and you don't know where Graves is. So if you TP here and Graves is in your Tribe Rush,
look,
you just want to leave.
One of the 3 CS was the cannon minion, okay? He can at least afford a refillable potion. All right? And a control ward for the Graves gank. He is completely fine. Nothing could possibly go better here.
True. He's spiking. He's on that, he's on the pink ward power spike. Lane is great now, and honestly, so maybe there's some tech here that I'm just not understanding with the W, but it's such a long cooldown at level 1, and you can't really fight back. And like, I get the thought process if you use it to absorb some poke, but if the shield breaks, you can't actually pop it for return damage. So I feel like the Q is just better, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something in some 10 million mastery point Sion can let me know exactly what the thought process here is. Either way, Ssumday played the lane very well. He made really good use of the Trial by Fire passive, that true damage burn. Constantly got that every time he did actually kill a barrel off. That resets your passive. And he has crushed this early laning phase, which is going to make it much more difficult for Allorim going forward, because the more comfortable the early laning phase goes for GP, the more quickly he's going to get to that Sheen and towards that Triforce, where you just can't pressure him anymore.
Okay, Xmithie wants to head down to the bottom side of the map. He's going to go through a ward. Hakuho is going to start running forward. Flash Q, and look at that timing. Poome grabs him, and it's not even going to go through the body. No pull forward. Cody's son is safe. Flash down, no gank.
That also seemed like Xmithie wasn't going for the gank, right? As soon as the sweeper saw the ward, he started killing the ward, and Hakuho was flashing forward. If you're going to actually go for that flash engage, I feel like Xmithie needs to be continuing to move forward so that if there is that Devour from Tahm Kench, you can actually clap him back in, slow him down with the Chilling Smite, find some sort of ability for your teammates to catch up. And it just seemed like there was not on the same page, basically.
Well, they're going to find round 2. They don't even get the root on a Poome because he didn't take any damage yet. And Cody's son just says, well, you anchored me, but I don't really have to care about this one. He's chugged a potion. Otherwise, his farm is fine. He's got more minions to kill. He's going to push towards him if he wants it to. And end of the day, this Caitlyn is having a nice, easy time here in this laning phase. Farming up nicely, but now the junglers spot each other yet again. Contractz and Xmithie can keep doing battle around this. Another anchor comes in, but again, Poome is there to save him. Running a bit low on mana, but now a fight continues as the junglers continue to scrap, and Contractz gets way better on that half at 200 health on this poor Sett, is pushed all the way out of the river, all the way out of the jungle, and he might just take a recall onto the turret.
I mean, Sett has no health built up right now. He has the Chilling Smite. There's no way you're going to actually win that fight against Graves, who had the Challenging Smite, which is so much better for the dueling, plus just the ability to kite you out. Sure, you can proc the phase rush on Sett, but with the quick draw, Graves is able to create that space, and now we'll just be able to start up this dragon. Probably going to need some help, though, as you do take quite a bit of damage doing this by yourself, but has the Smite for a heal and does have the Honey Fruit, but getting fairly low.
Poome's going to finally walk over. Cody's son did have the chance to go. He had already shoved the wave in. He was going to be reasonably safe. End of the day, Contractz gets the damage he needs. Easy auto smite gets it. Ocean Drake grabbed at 620. And End of the Dean's feeling good about picking the early aggressor in the jungle matchup. Takes the dueling lead and feels good. Insanity gets some damage on a Ryoma. Mid lane very close, but small lead to Ryoma here overall in the early game, as top lane is still double CS, 52-26.
Top lane is Poome, so 100 Thieves feeling really good about their chances in this game. Ssumday has been such a big win condition for 100 Thieves, and generally so goes Ssumday, so goes 100 Thieves. It often feels like he is really good at snowballing advantages and actually making that count big time. So we will see what they want to do as far as playing this one out. They don't have really any engage. That's one of the things kind of working against 100 Thieves. So it's not as though they can just like set up bot and dive very easily with GP ults. So I do think that the idea here is just going to be try to play for winning lanes, try to snowball through objectives, force your opponents to come to you at those neutral objectives, at the dragon and things like that. And that is how 100 Thieves are going to find their fights, where they can then try to kite out and slowly kill off Immortals.
Well, both top laners a bit low on mana as they trade back and forth, but Ssumday has biscuits in case he needs it. Big burst of mana when you take those down. Gets the cannon there as well, and traded back by Allorim's Q. Yeah, so Ssumday able to easily play this lane as much as he wants. Gets some more poke at Allorim. This poor Sion just has to play this lane defensively. He's low on mana, waits around for when he can next press W, next press Q, and get the occasional CS. Barrel chain's not quite going to land there. You can see 68 CS now, highest in the game. Ssumday has been pushing his opponent out of lane while still farming at a good clip. And you just feel bad for poor Allorim taking a matchup that he wanted, but getting outplayed in it so far.
Yep, and I think he picked it more for their comp rather than the matchup. Sion, I don't think he's thinking, I'm going to slam this guy with the Sion, but either way, it went really bad for him. The Sheen buy coming in here very early, and on GP you're not expecting to be able to get perfect farm in most matchups. You're usually having to give some up here and there in the early levels, but Ssumday has been able to win the trades. He's been able to get the farm. He's on a great buy here. Does have ultimate, so Immortals have to be careful, but it could be a smite fight here, as we'll see who wins it.
Certainly possible. Finds the stun, gets some decent damage. Good smite comes through. Xmithie grabs it, grabs the eye as well, but now he has to worry about ulting backwards into a flash of the wall to stay alive. Snipe from Cody's son nearly kills him, and Ssumday does the rest. It cost him 3 ults, but they all line up and they grab the kill Hakuho has to run away. He's got to be careful. Ryoma goes in, Summoner heal. Grabbed by Insanity, keeps that man safe enough. That is 100 Thieves on the board with the kill. On board the first Drake, but at least the Herald went to Xmithie.
That was honestly really well done by Xmithie. I thought he was going to get out, but Caitlyn TP'd in and ulted him to get him low enough that the GP ult kills him off. So hard to expect all of that stuff coming in there. Xmithie does get the eye plus the smite and gets out. So I think it's honestly not that bad, all things considered. And here we can see it one more time. 100 Thieves were the ones starting this up. Contractz had sold this down very, very low. And Xmithie Q plus smite lands there and then steps behind Contractz, dunks him to the wall to get room for the flash. Flash is over, but Rave's ulti over the wall, Caitlyn ulti over the wall, the red burn from the challenging smite, plus the GP ulti, so triple ults coming across in the final moments.
For good measure, he even had Corrupting Potion going when he Gangplank ulted him. Just like a little bit more burn, just to really make sure. You know, every possible choice. Might have even had Scorch, who knows. Regardless, goodbye to you. I will say, to recap top lane, we are staying at 19 CSD. The first 4 levels were catastrophic. They were really rough, and I feel bad for Allorim and every Sion player out there. It has stabilized since then, and as much as Gangplank stacks gold infinitely with his Q, Sion gets to stack health infinitely with the W, and so they're both scaling to infinity.
He will be able to stabilize, I would think. You know, once he gets to Sunfire, you know, you start getting some levels. It becomes very hard to actually, you know, do enough damage to really threaten that Sion. But GP is also kind of not really threatened himself. You know, you can see he's pretty comfortable to actually walk up and even get the Demolish off on the turret. That's not a position you really want to be in as the Sion. You're hoping that you're strong enough that you can actually just step forward with the W up. You QE the wave, you pop the W, you kill the wave, and you try to just keep him away from the turret. So if he can get to that spot, he can definitely stabilize. But as Ssumday works to the Triforce, it's going to be more about those team fights, and we'll just see how much of an advantage he can really get in those team fights from his early gold lead.
Well, Ryoma feeling comfortable in the mid lane. Contractz nearby. A pair of control wards at the top river. Makes that movement really, really safe and really comfortable to do. Going through his third control ward, just out of range of the next ward right there. Goes heads and keeps the vision going. 4 control wards, top river right now for 100 Thieves. They're really playing around that side of the map. They're 5th in the bottom river to help keep their Ssumday player safe. As we can see, again, Immortals trying to fight back for the waves. They put their own ward down and drop that count back to 4 overall. Still, though, 1,400 gold lead to 100 Thieves. Feeling pretty comfortable in the early game off the kill they've gotten. Top laner still fighting close back and forth. Sunfire Cape not yet done. He's going to ult to walk back to lane. One of the nice things about, you know, mid-game Sion is you're usually not ulting for team fights right away, so you can kind of save your teleport and just ult for wave control.
Yep, and you kind of use it as a pseudo TP, right? It's also one of the reasons that he's really hard to bully in lane, because you basically can use your teleport to get to 6, and then you have another kind of like semi-teleport with the ult to get back to lane again, but Insanity will be forced to flash here. It is interesting that neither team were actually playing towards the dragon with the dragon spawned, Rift Herald already taken. You know, there's so much pressure around this top lane because Immortals want to use the Rift Herald to try to take down first tower, and we wanted to see 100 Thieves stop that. Now they're going to go for the engage.
Anchor forward, dunk, couple of roots, a lot of stuns here. Who's going to get focused? Cody Sun's going to flash away. GP ult pushes them back, and that's going to be no pickups just yet.
Them.
Careful, though, the turret damage is there. Xmithie finally summons Rift Herald. It'll only take 2 plates. Ryoma is here, ulti-less, but has flash and the chance at a stun. Here comes the TP in. They're going to let Hakuho tank the ulti in for the Caitlyn. Finally gets the charge. That's 2 plates going over to Xmithie. So Sett's a bit richer. That's a double stun, though. Ryoma needs 1 more hit, and they're going to knock down Apollo. And it's time to run away. Immortals is slow onto Allorim. He has no ult to kite away easily. And they will knock him lower and lower in health. There's going to be at least a plate from auto attacks, maybe more, as they can push in for a lot here.
That was really well played by Ssumday because he just focuses Apollo, knowing if Apollo is knocked out of the fight, if he is low on health and can't enter, there's no more damage. You have a tank Sett, a support Nautilus, and then the Sion, right? No one there is actually going to threaten the health of these members on 100 Thieves, and they win on that top side while preventing the first turret from going down and grabbing their second dragon. So 100 Thieves in a great spot at this point in the game, and Immortals are going to be really reliant on Apollo for this damage. So let's watch this one more time. They decide they want to try to go for this dive, and they very heavily committed to it. I honestly thought that they could have just gone for turret plates and then dropped the Herald. Xmithie gets the dunk, pulls them together right as that Nautilus ultimate expires. He claps Cody Sun back in. The Ignite was not enough to kill him, but then they're behind him. So Ryoma coming in here. The GP ultimate had already been dropped. He was TP'd in. Ssumday is just going straight for Apollo because, yes, Sion is coming in, but you know Sion has no ultimate. And as that barrel chain lands, Ssumday got him so low, and it was only one Q and an auto to finish him off from Ryoma. And as soon as their marksman is down, there's just no damage left because Insanity wasn't there.
And also on the other side of the map, Contractz able to solo the Cloud Drake, and look at that, 100 Thieves. You can see their gold lead 2,000 15 minutes into this game, plus the fact that, hey, they've got kills on the board, they've got the 2 Drakes, they're feeling really good about this one. So 100 Thieves on their way, getting closer and closer to securing playoffs and making that one happen. 100 Thieves feeling good. Immortals on the outside, and more on the outside looking in, hoping to find a win at some point to turn that season around. But now a play towards the jungler. Guess what, though? Poome is here. Knock him right back out. No play for Xmithie. Be careful because suddenly Syndra is back. And Poome gets revenge for the laning phase, knocking down Hakuho. Instead, he's now forced to run away. And again, 100 Thieves getting the better of every single fight.
They just have way more threats. So unless you can instantly kill someone as Immortals, you know, every member except Kench is doing a lot of damage. So, you know, Apollo is sitting there, you know, popping his ult or a little bit far back, you know, following up with the root. It's not even though he played it wrong. It's just he's the only member there to actually deal any damage. So as soon as he can't burst them down, nothing else is happening. And Xmithie was clearing that ward as they go in. We'll see if they continue.
Big chunk on Ssumday, forced a flash to stay alive as he was going to run out of health before too terribly long. Xmithie, of course, ultiless, doesn't have the best gank pressure overall, as that was burned a little while ago. As the barrel goes down, Allorim's combo just doesn't do that much damage. Ssumday's going to easily sustain back up. He's got the Triforce, he's got CDR and mana, eats some oranges, knocks down some minions. Barrel chain when he wants it. And again, you can see Insanity forced to play now defensively in the mid lane. Has some MR, does have barrier right now, but gets stunned up, and that's decent damage. Just goes through the summoner because might as well.
Yep, just going to keep that summoner spellbook rolling. Ryoma, though, already on that Ludens, feeling pretty good. Just trying to keep Insanity locked under his turret. Keep one of those 2 threats on the Immortals team really in check here. And we do have Apollo pushing down on that bottom side, but Cody-san, you know, is at a stronger mark right now. I assume that Apollo should have his Infinity Edge gold here very shortly. And Immortals are going to have to kind of make their stand at this next fight, which could be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Allorim right now, getting hit a fair bit. Contractz staying in the way, so no ulti can bring him to safety. He wasn't up anyway, and the health bar is getting lower and lower. About 1,000 left on him. Barrel's going to land again. Autos under the turret. Not going to be enough to kill, and Ssumday will be stunned in front of the turret. Eats the orders and walks away. Gets about as well as he gave, ultimately, but it's still going to be a forced recall out of the Sion, who has no ulti, has no TP, and can't get back to top lane easily. That turret's going to run out of health fast.
Exactly. That's the major win there, as they are going to take down that turret. And even on Sunfire Cape, he is a very tanky boy against that double AD threat. And GP and Graves not getting much done onto that Sion. But it's going to be about this next fight. It's going to be about the 3rd dragon, unless Immortals just want to give that one up, which it's pretty much always when people will fight to try to prevent Soul Point. So if they go for it, I'm just not sure that they're going to be at a strong enough point where they can really threaten the burst. And Insanity has gone more for kind of the utility style build here with the Hextech GLP instead of the Ludens, which also means, you know, one of your 2 damage dealers is not going for kind of this optimal damage build. And I do have a lot of concerns about whether or not Immortals can actually burst anyone down, because with Tahm Kench behind them, with Heal and Guardian, you're not only just going to have to get the first CC, you're going to have to like CC someone up, force a Devour, and then block someone else down and burst them down, most likely.
Well, it's going to be tough because the damage isn't quite there. And, well, guess what? Poome is doing a really good job with all of this. Stopwatch, Stone Plate soon. Ryoma going to be slept, and Contractz next to him, so Insanity's not going to get enough done. Nearly had the chance. You can see Ssumday is a very rich man. Gangplank cheats a bit, but he's still gigantic. He's gotten solo turret gold. First turret of the game went to him. And now we can see more pressure coming around the map. Mountain Drake spawning in 7 seconds. Mid lane will fall to this one. The charge should be enough to kill it outright, and it is, as that one drops down. 5,000 gold lead 100 Thieves. Not all of it can be spent, but their inventory is still better. I had done on both AD carries. Mountain Drake started here for Contractz. Will Immortals even show up? Can they even try? Sion walking forward. Allorim going to help kill some wards. Sleep's not going to land. When can they do anything? Stun's going to go in there. Be careful. This is a low health bar. The ult's going to start landing. And Insanity below 1,000. If Ryoma ulted him, that might have actually been the kill. He was only rank 1 ulti.
Yeah, the trap line is so difficult to actually walk through. So they step forward, and Insanity gets chunked out. All right, back to base. Can't do anything. If Insanity's not there, you definitely don't have enough damage. And Apollo did have to commit the heal, so without much of any scrap whatsoever, 100 Thieves will get themselves that third dragon. And feeling like 100 Thieves have kind of just outdrafted, outplayed thus far. You know, Immortals are going to have to find something pretty special when you're falling this far behind early on against what is a really difficult comp for them to deal with. You can't even necessarily focus down this Tahm Kench because the Stone Plate is going to make him pretty darn tanky, at least for a window of time.
Yeah, and a large portion of this is honestly 100 Thieves just playing better. They are the stronger team, even though the records look close at 5-10 versus 4-11. 100 Thieves inherited a 1-5 start to this roster. As things switched around, as Contractz came in, as Poome came in, it looked a lot better. They're about to go 50-50 on this roster so far with wins that we kind of expect them to clean up. I'm kind of expecting 100 Thieves to go 8-10 to close out this season. They can actually fight for an upper bracket spot right now. They're certainly taking care of business in this matchup. You're going to see another fight in the top side. And yeah, it's a very, very tanky Sion. Ssumday at the end of the day loses half his health and doesn't get nearly the same back as he gave. Won't take damage there. But Allorim can slowly try to work that one through a bit longer. And he will still be a big, heavy frontline for team fights. But the problem is, as you've been mentioning time and again, the consistent damage isn't there, and the frontline that 100 Thieves has is good enough.
And as Ssumday gets towards his Essence Reaver, he's going to be pretty close to that. You have 40% CDR, so you actually have quite good sustain in those side lanes, even just by eating the oranges over and over to heal back up off of those traits. And he's more just looking to wave clear and keep that pressure up. 100 Thieves now doing a great job getting deep vision, looking to invade, looking to take away as many resources as possible from Immortals to just continue extending this gold lead. It's now up over 6,000 gold in the lead, 3 minutes until Soul Point. And that is where it's going to be all up to Immortals. Mountain Dragon, I do think, is really tough when you are also low damage and burst reliant, as Zoe and Jhin are, as the main damage dealers here. They kind of have to one-shot someone, or you're not going to win the extended fight. And it's going to be tough to do that.
They might try. They're not going to get this one as the flash is out of range. Xmithie gets the shield and tries to run away, but here comes the re-engage. A dunk by some time. Isn't enough damage, though, as GPL comes over the top. Hakuho burns a stopwatch. Contractz is burning down. One more audible kill him, and it's still not going to be enough. 2 kills again picked up for 100 Thieves. Every single kill is a counter-engage of Immortals trying and never getting enough. Allorim will walk away and stay alive, but 100 Thieves have given up nothing all game.
That's so heartbreaking for Immortals, not even getting that kill on the Graves. Xmithie felt like he had the range to actually not flash in for the clap together. There was no flash on Ryoma, though, so if you actually land that clap on the initial stun, if you just flash for this and land that clap guaranteed, you could maybe get behind him and actually ult him back in, and then you probably have that kill, yeah. But instead, he doesn't go for it, thought he had the range and could kind of eke it out, has to use the flash defensively. And look at Contractz so low with the Ignite. Poome flashes to the wall, heals him up, has the Devour as Allorim flashes in, trying to finish him off. They just don't have the damage. Jhin is not there. The response was great from 100 Thieves, and you can see even Contractz was moving to the wall to get closer for that flash heal from Poome. So good communication between those two members to keep their jungler alive. 1:30 now until this dragon spawns. You can see 2 items for Ryoma. The Essence Reaver Triforce, very expensive, very strong build is done for Ssumday, and Cody's son should also have his Rapid Fire, but it doesn't look like the Immortals members are going to have their 2-item spikes, so they're going to be massively behind for this fight that they now must win to have a chance in the game.
They got to find a way. They've got double Magic Pen and Insanity. He's level 13. The Q scales with champion level. He's doing okay in that regard. I don't know how Jin's going to kill anyone, unfortunately. Ssumday's got to feel real comfortable, right? Ninja Tab be done, max CDR, stopwatch if he needs it. There's so many good defensive tools on 100 Thieves' side. And honestly, Immortals right now are getting perfect games. So many of these results have been really close. They have nearly gotten kills a couple of times. You've had, sub 100 health bars in a couple of these, but at the end of the day, right, have not been able to do enough. 40 seconds now on Mountain Soul. That'll make those marks even harder to get to. And 100 Thieves, as a squad, the Poome gang running through, getting vision, looking to fight Xmithie in his own jungle. Stun's going to be there, the punch in as well. But look how low the health bars get. Jhin can open up for enough to kill Contractz. He walks in a bit too much. Maybe this is the re-engage. Sion ult has been burned. Ryoma a little bit low. Can there be something? The Drake is spawning in 18 seconds and Contractz will not be alive. If there is a time to show up, it is now for Immortals.
Contractz just getting very brazen there, dashing blind into the wolf pit at the graves, right as the soul is spawning. You can play for the soul, man. You don't have to go for the wolves. But instead, he does get taken down. Immortals with the punish here. And now they have Smite on Zoe as well as their jungler. So they have double Smite here as long as it doesn't expire. And they've got to try to push for this. You can't allow Contractz time to get back.
Yep.
And 400 Thieves to just take this for free. You need this dragon to keep your hopes alive.
100 Thieves would love to delay. GP ult over the top. Hakuho instantly dead. It's back to a 4-on-4. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, 100 Thieves have a gold lead. Ult in the back line only breaks Banshee's Veil off of Ryoma. He's got to try to run for his life. He's going to get sniped, and he's not going to get it blocked in time. Nice try to Allorim. It's not going to happen. Poome not knocked into the air either. They couldn't find that stun. They could still try to burn this down, but they don't have a jungler, and good luck to the rest. The stun is going to land. Allorim is going to die. The zombie Sion can attack something. He can try to chase Ryoma, but he's been stunned, he's been attacked, he's been trapped, and he's going to drop. Mountain Soul's going to come through. Not a problem for Contractz to win this battle. There's not even a fight back. Claims it, and the chase on towards Insanity. There's at least a kill for Immortals. Not a perfect game, but they have no chance in this one.
They have just been absolutely dismantled. It feels like everything from draft to play, they are getting slapped around by 100 Thieves, who's able to win. This is just a 4v5. Their jungler is dead. He's coming back from base, and they are still looking for it. They know how strong they are, and Xmithie tries to go for the turnaround, but the GP ult is still there, so you honestly can't really walk forward into it. Apollo and Insanity just can't even seem to hurt the Tahm Kench. The support is too tanky for him, and at this point, 100 Thieves have done a great job buying enough time for Contractz to get back from base. He arrives, the dragon was always going to be theirs from that point, and Poome is even wrapping around. He is preparing for the next eventual part. Cody's son moves up, and they're able to chase down.
Well, the second item finally came through for Apollo. Rapid fire cannon is in, but of course we're practically at 3 for Cody's son already as the last Whisper is in inventory. And the gold lead is over 8,000. Mountain Soul is on. The chance to come back, very, very slim. Insanity not even going to fall off to sleep. Wave will be cleared, and Baron is in the eyes of 100 Thieves. You can see a lot of ward control. They've got one in the Baron pit, one in the brush in front of it. They've got the Scuttle. They're going to get rid of all their other wards as well. And top jungle right now belongs to 100 Thieves. They've stolen it away. 9,000 the gold lead as Immortals can only defend small parts of their base. Insanity going to lose about a quarter of his health from the low attack damage build for Cody's son. He's going to go knock down some more minions. Not going to fall asleep either. Easy wave clear, easy push. Bot lane tier 2 gone now as well.
Very impressive damage in that team fight from Ryoma. I think he outdamaged all of Immortals by himself. If he didn't, it was very close. So team fighting well there, staying at range while still getting his damage down. And Caitlyn, back in the meta, very good at taking towers. When you are ahead as this Caitlyn, it's a clear win condition. You have Tahm Kench behind you, walk up to the turrets, knock them down. Tahm Kench is there to be your get out of jail free card if they are looking for the engage, and they are just trying to clear out all the vision in this area. There's still a pink behind them that they, I assume, eventually will notice. But the GP is coming in. This is going to be potentially that final fight for Immortals.
Their last attempt. Ult's going to land. They get some damage on the Poome. The Duncan in the front line as well. Contractz back to safety. And by the way, the health bar is nearly full. A punch for Xmithie. He's running away for his life. The big ult comes across, and Contractz claims that kill as well. A stun on Ssumday doesn't matter. Now onto Allorim. He's going to get shut down as well. Easy chomp. Poome, does he get the kill credit? Does he? He doesn't. It goes to Cody's son, but regardless, it's still a 2-0. Thumbs up comes up. You know what? Let him kill the minions. We don't even care. Go ahead. Knock down the wave. We're done with this one. Take the recall. Look at Baron next.
Good attempt for Immortals, but too little, too late. They are not able to get anything really done there. Allorim kind of had to go for it. That's the only ward they had out on the map, and they needed to try something with some sort of TP flank. You're not going to win this game by slow playing it and giving over Baron. There's no chance of that, so they go for it, but they can only find Poome. And Apollo, you got no flash, my friend. You are dead.
Which one is this? Ooh, 13 doesn't make it back home. That's not going to be great. Well, unlike 13, I got my, it's fine. We're going to move on. Baron's going to go down, easily claimed here as well. 3v1, not even a close fight. 13,000 gold lead.
It's even hard for Jhin to find ultimates in these fights. As I think it was actually a barrel chain that stopped Apollo from the ult, as they did at least get Contractz kind of low, but the initial ultimate is dodged out on by Contractz, but Contractz gets dunked back in the team. They have some good initial bursts, But yeah, then the GP ult over the wall. Apollo put very, very low. He has to flash away looking for the ulti, but immediately forced back as Ssumday was threatening another barrel chain. He's just chasing Apollo around. He knows that as long as he is actually threatening the carries in these fights with the barrels, they can't get enough damage out to ever win a fight. So Ssumday has just been playing this one so well the whole game through. Now has Lord Dominik's plus another BF sword. He is ridiculously fed and really just putting on a clinic here on the GP.
Yeah, this game is ending pretty shortly here. A 14,000 gold lead for 100 Thieves. They've got the Baron buff on, and they're ready to close the game out during this one. They got a 2-minute timer with minions that are practically invincible to PvP combat, at least the opposing champion's combat. Allorim goes in, but can't quite find the stuns, and the siege will continue. Contractz splits from the bottom side of the map, gets that turret down a half HP. Mid still under fire, by the way, and that means 2 autos will kill it. Cody walks up, chunks it down, and the turret is gone, as there's still a cannon wave to push in. Still a cannon minion there as well. 2 in the bottom side. That turret's very, very low. Contractz gets pulled back in. They might finally find the kill. They dunk him. They burn like 17 ultimates, and they find a single kill. But the mid is already gone. It's a 5v4, and I don't think 100 Thieves care. They still got more gold in their pocket even without Contractz, and they're going to push in for this one.
Report Contractz. 2 deaths, the only 2, keeping them away from the perfect game. This man is trolling, but 100 Thieves pushing in. They grab both the inhibs, and Immortals do get a kill there, but it doesn't buy them much of anything except a little bit more time. 100 Thieves looking far too strong at this point. They're in full control and looking like they want to set up for this Elder Dragon. They have the Baron buff. It will be shortly overlapping with the Elder Dragon spawn, so they can even look towards taking that fight potentially with the Baron buff still active.
Alrighty, well that's going to be happening pretty soon. The recall's coming through. Tahm Kench now has Locket to make it even more obvious that no one is dying this game. Poome is going to keep everybody alive for the entirety of it. 2-0 and 5. There's a nice stun for Ryoma. Goodbye Apollo. Hakuho can run. He's going to be slowed down. Insanity happens to tank the shot from Caitlyn. Does kill a barrel. They're still trying to run for his life. Barely gets away from the rest of the damage here. Can't quite hit Ryoma, so goodbye. Get out of your own base. Please run back to the fountain. We will claim your structures. Thank you very much. Allorim's still running away. Xmithie's back here as well. Apollo up at 25. And you know what? Why don't they just end the game? Who needs to stack dragons any more than this one? The Nexus turrets will do just fine. 31 minutes in. Another re-engage. 4v5. Trying their very best. The stopwatch stops the kill. Allorim going to do the same. A stun for Xmithie. Gets himself a punch, but it's not going to be enough. Allorim is going to drop. The second Nexus turret will fall, and 100 Thieves will improve to 6 wins. They will keep fighting for that playoff spot. They've got 1 to go until they lock it up. Immortals have to find some way to knock down a top team to make their way in, and those chances look grim. Well played, 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves